little review I'm doing on the Dell XPS 1730. I've had this now for probably about a month, and I said I'd do a review and I never got around to it, and so this is unscripted. Sort of, I'm just going to go over what I think of the laptop, how it's been used, whether or not it's done as I expected, whether I got my money out of it, I believe, and so on. So I'm just going to go over it. From the exterior point of view, when you close the lid and you actually hold the width of it, it is actually quite deep. It is quite difficult to carry around under your arm with one hand. You do feel it's going to slip out, so it is not ultra portable as I sort of, not that I expected it to be ultra portable, but more portable to a degree. So that's the first thing. The other thing is that I notice, not a bad thing, but you do get, when you've really pushed it hard, you do get a lot of heat that comes out the vents. It is sometimes a bit like a fan heater when you really push it hard and the fans start to fire up and you're playing games or what have you. The power connector hasn't really been an issue. It doesn't pull out sideways if there's a force to the side. It's pretty good. Solid, as again from the first review, you've got to push it right up to the shoulder, or else it doesn't connect. Having USB on the back is really good. It's where I prefer to put my mouse. Also having the gigabit LAN is superb. Those are the only three connectors which is on the back, which is quite nice, and they're all banked together. It's not. It is. I have got a slight nick on it there. I don't know if you can see that. Let's try and get some light. A little white nick. So I think if you dent it hard, it goes white, which is a little bit frustrating. But I'm not sure when that happened. I think my daughter knocked it off the footstool. The light ups on the back. Sometimes you don't want them. Say if you're in a public place, you don't really want to advertise the fact that you've got top of the range laptop, so you can turn these off. Software that you use to turn them off can be a little bit clunky. If you can see it there, quick set. When you double click, it goes to a little icon down the bottom here. So you have to go to open. And it takes a while to fire up. It's not instant, which is a little bit frustrating. I wish you could have these on a hotkey. Then you have to go to system. Then you have to go across here to gaming options. It's not really a gaming option, but it's just where they put it. Now, sometimes when you load this up, it's not as it should be, so you have to tick and untick one to enable the apply. So you can see enable back panel wings and badge LEDs is off, but as you can quite clearly see, they're on. So sometimes you've got to sort of, you know, turn all LEDs off, apply. As soon as I ticked it, they've all gone off now. Back panel's still on, so turn them all back on. Now the LEDs are back on. Enable back badges. So I've now turned them on, and they're on. So there's a bit of confusion about this. So this isn't completely in sync. However, you can actually change all the colours. There we are. I'm not sure if you can see, but when I move the slider up, I'm just moving the slider up and down. You can see that you can change the colours. Now when you change the colours and you're listening to music, you can hear it click. Obviously as it's switching from the LEDs, because there are 3 LEDs to make up all these colours underneath all of this, that you can hear it click. So when you're listening to music or you link this in, there's gaming options here, LED effects, sorry, and you can ask it to strobe light. You can ask it to do all sorts of effects like this, so it flashes, or you can say breathing lights to make your laptop look like it's breathing. There we are. You can see it sort of flickery, but when you're listening to music, you can hear the click. So that's a little bit disappointing. Obviously, this is using up CPU cycles as well, which is a bit. Let's see. It is absolutely superb, and I wish all laptops had illuminated keyboards. And you can turn it on and off with a simple sort of function key. Right, you can see a little keyboard there with a light on it, so you can turn it on and off, which is cool. These LEDs, I have these all off usually. What would be nice if they illuminated these sort of media shuttle controls, because I use the volume up and volume down a lot during games, and you can assign these during games as well, which is quite useful. But as you can see, it times out and the lights go off, so if you're in the dark and you want to turn the volume up, you have to hunt around and feel for the first and count 3, and then volume up. That I wish it was permanently on, or you could ask it to be permanently on, which you can't. What else have I quite enjoyed is from the side, never used the DVI. You can get an HDMI converter, so you can watch it in true HD if you want to have an external HD source or viewing. You've got the USB connector in here. I've had some problems with this port. Some devices won't get recognised. You know when you plug a device into USB it doesn't work, but you plug it into a different one and it does. I've been having that issue. I think it's more to do with USB issues. Firewire I've used because I'm using a Firewire camera now. SD card slot I've used, very good. It does protrude a little bit. It doesn't sit flush, so it's not something you can stick in and leave, so you can use it like this hyperdrive support, which Vista supports. So it sticks out probably about 1/4 of an inch, depending on the card of course. The DVD writer is faultless, absolutely superb. And then on the side here we've got the audio controls. The audio controls, the positioning of these I find a little bit annoying as well. It is good having them at the front. I'd also like the option to have them at the back, because what's happening is that after you plug your headphones, your speakers in, and then you plug your headphone jack in, say, and then you eject your CD, is that it always fouls on the wires. The wires are always sort of there, or they're going over here, and that I find, I wish these audios were there and the DVD was pushed closer, or the audio that had a second audio jacks which are around the back. And secondly, when you plug these in, you've got to be sure that you set what they are. There's another utility, Sigma-Tel audio. Not sure if you can see, but you fire this beast up, and this basically tries to work out what it is. And you can say what they are by default, but sometimes it gets wrong. It says like this is line in, and of course when you're speaking on games or you're speaking via Skype, you're really quiet. So you've got to click mic, then go to headphones, click headphones, done. This one is by default headphones, that connector there, but that connector's right against the edge, which often, as you put your hand on there, I'll try and demonstrate, is that it will, those are my keys on them, hands on typical gaming keys, that sometimes when you're playing you can sort of push against them and lean, which personally I just hate doing, because it's one of those little pet hates that these getting loose and these starting to make the contact go a bit dodgy, so that I would have preferred. Speakers, the speakers are actually, I didn't think we were up to much, but we were watching a DVD, we went to Centre Parks and we didn't have a DVD player, so we took this along with the remote and we watched DVDs. And it's not 2 speakers in there, there's actually 3. These 2 are tweeters mounted on a back speaker, because I turned it up and it's quite a bassy part, and you could see these really starting to sort of fluctuate for the bassy parts and the sound effects. So the sounds is really up to, I'm not going to show you because it's pointless, it's coming through a mic, but it is actually, I don't think it's up for, you know, calling it bassy, but it's a good representation of a TV, better than a normal TFT type screen. Speakers much better. So they're not particularly tinny, they are, you know, they have got a high volume, but I wouldn't call them bassy, but they are adequate, definitely adequate. The other thing I want to talk about is the finish. The finish is very shiny. It's very similar to a PlayStation, portable PlayStation, as in you put a thumb on it and you can see the thumbprint. You can't see it now, my hands are quite dry, but they come with a little, you know, the Dell cloth, which is quite useful, so you can buff it up with heat. But after about, you know, after gaming, this will just be absolutely caked in sort of dry, dusty grease type thing just from the hands. So, but the alternative of that is to have like a slightly pitted sort of texture, so it's grippy. And what happens is eventually they go smooth because you rub off the pitting, or they just get, you know, it just gets completely clogged with grease. So out of the 2, I'd prefer this, but just to be warned that if you want to make it look good, before you put it in the case, give it a good polish. The buttons and thumb pad has been absolutely superb, faultless. Slight bit of wearing I notice on the edge of this sticker, which I'm probably going to peel off, but you can see it going white, and you can scratch it. I think if you scratch it with your nail around the edge, there we go, I've made a bit more come off now, great. But that's probably going to come off at some point. Got word on the keyboard is that at a certain angle you can see the light coming through. It's only in this area here. All the others you can't actually see. It doesn't matter what angle, you can't see the light. You can just about make out there, but I'm really low. But very small amount of light leakage.